Hello guys, welcome to Captain Dorja's Armory. This is Captain Dorja. We are going to take a look at a replay of an M-46 Patton. We're just going to look at the replay, no garage or anything like that. And I'm doing that on purpose because I'm kind of making a mouse video right now, and that video is going to spend a lot of time in the garage. So we're going to give you some tasty battle before we give you some mouse garage. So yeah. This battle in the M-46 Patton was a really fun battle. You can see we're in a Tier 10 match. There are not too many Tier 10s on the ME team, only 5. They do have 2 very nasty tank destroyers, 2 pretty strong heavies, and a Tier 10 medium. So it's not like it's a, easy mode matchmaker or anything. And the entire rest of the enemy team is Tier 9s, and they do have a lot of strong Tier 9s. But, the Patton itself is a strong Tier 9. So we can definitely fight in this sort of a match. And we're going to. And we're on fjords, and when I'm in my fast mediums, I like to try and control the middle on this map. I think it gives you a good ability to react to changing circumstances on pretty much the entire rest of the map. So I think if you win the middle, it's one of the best ways to win on this map. So when I'm in a medium tank, I really like to come and try to dominate the middle. I still don't know why my chat's getting that bug, and I should probably stop being so lazy and look it up online. See if I can figure it out, because it's been doing that now for an entire version of the game, and I don't like it. So here we are, we're in our glorious M-46 Patton, and I just realized my over-target markers are broke again, which is really, really weird, since I just did commentary on a replay from the same patch version, and my over-target markers were correct. So I don't know why this is doing this, and it's really making me upset. So we'll just configure those in the settings menu under the marker tab, for anyone who's not aware that you can do this right in the game. And now that we've fixed that little problem, we will go back to the game. So in the center here, we've spotted a WZ-120, the enemy M48 Patton, and a Waffenträger Aufs Panzer IV. So, that's some dangerous tanks. With me, we've got a Type 61, Tier 9 Japanese medium. We also have an Object 704 and a 121 hanging around near us. So that's pretty awesome. That's a lot of firepower. And since I haven't really noticed anybody up to the north, and no one's really probing this corner right in front of me, I decide that I'm going to take a chance here and see if I can poke these guys while they're not looking. And lo and behold, we're granted a nice combo shot on the Waffenträger Aufs Panzer IV, and he's knocked out of the match, which is nice. That's a very dangerous gun. It is removed from play. We put a big hit into the enemy WZ-120, but we do notice some enemy support coming up, and we are forced to back off from that corner. Unfortunately, we bounce off the IS-8, but I noticed our 121 put a big hit into the enemy Waffenträger E100, which is definitely good, and somebody put a big hit into the IS-8. So both of those tanks have backed off. I've backed off. I don't really want to get auto-loaded down to 0 instantly by that Waffenträger E100, but since the Waffenträger seems to have backed off, I want to try and take sneaky poke shots at the enemy medium tanks, because I know they're still over here somewhere, and they're really in a pretty vulnerable position. I'm not sure where the WZ-120's gotten to, but our 121's going in, so I'm going to go with him. The 121, I don't know if he missed or bounced or what, but I saw that the WZ-120 was on real low health, so I shot at him instead of the 48 Patton. Now the 48 Patton's completely pinned in, and we're unloading on him. And I want to take a quick pause to check the situation right here. See, because, I don't know what is wrong with my zoom mod, but it's really annoying. Because of the rock that I'm behind, even though I know all these big nasty enemies are right here and that they can see me, I know that I'm safe from being shot at by any of them. And I really don't know what is wrong with my camera, but we'll worry about it later. So right there, we take advantage of the terrible armor on the Waffenträger E100, put a good hit into him. We fire at the lower plate on the E75, But the M48 Patton, the M46 Patton rather, doesn't have the most accurate gun out there, and our shot goes high into his upper plate and bounces. But that's fine with me, since I was able to reload and kill him anyway. Now the enemy IS-8 is occupied, and at this point, we've got a big pack of medium tanks with no opposition. It's time to start marauding. So we maraud through the IS-8, doing 519 damage to him, and then we spot these three guys. And again, let's just keep rolling, keep shooting. Time to maraud. Taking the first damage I took in the game. I see the enemy IS-8 is just really exposed, so I put a big hit into him. I also see my friendlies moving after this SU-122 54. So what I want to try and do is I want to be ready to go in and help them out once the 122 is distracted. I got my opportunistic damage onto that IS-8, but now it's time to go for this 122 54. So while he worries about that WZ-120, we plant a 390 damage hit into him. And then, as we reload, we come in marauder fashion, cap him in the back of the head, taking our fourth kill, and it's time to press on. Now, this is a fast, powerful, brawling medium tank, and there are still 5 enemies left, and I want to do some more fast, powerful brawling before this battle ends. I've already killed 4 people and done 4,200 damage. I think we can do better. So you can see our team is moving in to encircle the last 5 enemies, and I definitely want to be part of the action. Our 121 is in a good position. We're all moving in, coming in from all sides. See the object 704 right there? The 121, unfortunately, fires just before I do, so no kill on him. Really trying for a Top Gun right here. So there's definitely some Top Gun potential. Now we've got a lot of tanks pushing in on not very many enemies, so it's getting to be pretty close quarters here. And just driving around the map is a little bit of a challenge, but I'm not too worried about it. Our team's just lost two guys to the enemy, and I'm a horrible driver and managed to get stuck. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to push in under the guns of these big TDs to where we can just poke them and get some good kills in, or at the very least some good damage. So we're going to try and poke the side of the Yagi 100, but with the angling, we weren't able to penetrate. And we need to be very careful here, because that is in fact the T-95, and there is also a Yagi 100. Unfortunately, right there, I bounce off the upper hatch on the T-95, because that is definitely a weak point, and I would really have wanted to penetrate it. Could have taken him almost to 0 health. You can see our IS-7 firing high explosive at the T-95, and at this point, I'm wondering why my team is standing off and getting into a long-range engagement with a T-95 and a Jagdpanzer 100, and that's a really good way to let a lot of tanks die. So what I decide to do is I decide that I'm going to be the spearhead, and I'm going to move in close to these guys and just get the fight into point-blank range where we can just swarm over them with a million numbers. The problem with being the first guy to do that is it means you're the guy that everybody's looking at and trying to kill. So, yeah, that was good. IS-7 blows my track off. The Yagi 100 mercifully missed. I fire at the Yagi 100 and I hit the gun of the dead WZ in front of me. And with that, the IS-7 blows me away. But it doesn't matter. The impetus that I gave my team to push in was not wasted, and our team closes in and slays the remaining enemies. So that was pretty awesome. Now let's take a look at some post-game stats. So we got the post-battle results for that battle right there, and you can see it was a pretty good one. Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, definitely love getting Ace Tanker. 63,436 credits, which isn't too bad for a Tier 9 medium. And 3,816 experience, doubled for the first win of the day. Not, a record beater or anything, but it's still a pretty decent double. We had a good litany of destruction down here. Unfortunately, none of our shots on the T-95 were able to penetrate, and the one shot into the Yagi 100 bounced off the sharply angled side armor. But it wasn't a very good shot, so no surprise there. But we did get to do quite a bit of damage to this Patton in this Waffenträger Aufpanzer 4. We hurt this E-75. We got a lot of good hits on these two IS-8s, and also on this guy right here. We really punished this 122-54. It was a fun battle, and I definitely enjoy any time I get to drive my tanks into like maraud mode, and we definitely got to do that in this battle. So you can see we came in second on damage behind the Waffenträger E100, who only managed about 100 more damage than me. And our top three guys, myself, the Waffenträger, and the 121, really put in big games. Also the Type 61 put in a big game as well. 3,000 and 4,000 damage out of the four of us, that's good. Plus 11 kills. You can see this Jagdpanzer E100 did about 5,000 damage, but almost all of that was in his kind of futile last stand, so it belies the impact he actually had on the game. Apologize for the Skype messages. Nothing I can do to control that. If we take a look at the statistics, you can see that out of 20 shots, 17 hit and 13 penetrated. And considering that I did fire a couple of shots at the front of an E75, a couple at the front of a T95, and the one bad shot on that Yagi 100, that's actually not bad penetration ratio. We didn't fire any premium shells, and we were shooting at some very heavily armored targets. And like we saw against the E75, where my first shot aimed at the lower plate but hit the upper plate, even at really close range, this gun's not accurate, so you don't always get your shots quite where you want them. We had the same problem with the T95. We just couldn't hit his weak point even from only about 100 meters away. But it's still a very powerful tank with a very powerful gun from the 4,200 damage. We didn't get much spotting, but that doesn't matter because we definitely had a good result. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that battle. That was a fun battle in the M-46 Patton, a tank that I enjoyed driving quite a bit. I don't drive it that often, but it is a fun one. I definitely love it whenever I can go, especially in a fast tank, like any strong medium tank like the Patton or an E50, or a fast heavy like with an IS-3 or with an IS-7, when I can just go into maraud mode and just drive around the battlefield, creating havoc. That's some of the most fun battles in World of Tanks, and this was definitely one of those occasions. I really enjoyed it. It was a great battle. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, guys, just remember that you can never have enough big guns.